Hello, my name is Jacob Christensen and I am a developer at Sitecore. For this presentation I'm gonna try to build a very simple plugin for Sitecore Rocks. So the first thing I do is I'll create a new project. There are many ways that you can create plugins for Sitecore Rocks, but I'm gonna build it from the very bottom up. So we're gonna do a Hello World plugin and we put that in C plugins. And we have it here right now. Next I'm going to go in and add some NuGet packages. The one we want is the Sitecore Rocks client, which is this one, and we're gonna go ahead and install that. Like that. Next I am going to add a new class. We'll do the Sitecore Rocks content tree command and we'll call that Hello World. This gives me this file and we'll walk through it a little bit here. At the very top we see this attribute which is called command. This is used by the Sitecore Rocks extensibility framework and marks this class as being a command class that will show up in all the context menus. Next we have, of important things, we have this text which is what gets displayed in the context menu, so we'll call this Hello World. These two properties here control where and how this particular command shows up in the context menus. Next we have two methods. One is can execute. This determines if this command can actually execute or is shown in this particular context, and we can see it only shows up in the content tree context. The execute method is the one that gets called when the user actually clicks this command in the context menu, and for that we're just going to show a message box. So we'll do app host message box and we'll say hello world, and this is from Rocks, and we'll just say okay, and this is a piece of information. So let's try to compile this. It compiled. Next we want to run this, and for that we need to set up a couple of things. So we'll go into the properties and into debug. First of all, we'll set the executable to the Visual Studio dev exe, which is in this one, and in common IDE. This is the Visual Studio executable. And then we'll provide a number of command line arguments. First of all, we want to set the root suffix for Visual Studio to exps. This will make Visual Studio run in experimental mode, which basically means that all the settings that you put in there will not affect how your usual working environment works. We'll do Rocks plugin and we'll point that to C plugins Hello World bin and debug. This is just a debug folder. This is where the assembly for our Hello World project turns up. We'll save that and we will try to run it. Here we go, and if we click inside the Sitecore Explorer, we should see our Hello World command, and it's right here. If we click that, we get the Hello World. If we expand this a bit, we will actually see that this command turns up everywhere, which is maybe not really what we want. We just want to have it turn up on databases. So let's go and change that. So we go back to our code, and in the can execute menu we want to check that this particular context has a selected item that is a database. So first of all, we check that the context selected items count equals 1, and if it doesn't, we'll return false. So this command cannot execute if there are multiple selected items. Next, we take an item and we say that the context selected items first as database tree view item, and if that is null, we'll say, well, that doesn't really work. So we're gonna run this. And now let's see, I click the site. There is no hello world. We open it. There we have hello world. And if we go into an item, it's not here.